Here.
Ah, we're in the Middle Coast. Pulling up the notes, if I can find them on my screen. Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 137. My guest this evening is Ben Hoeppner. He works in Concord. He lives in Elkhart, Indiana. He has risen through the ranks and is currently a deputy chief. He's an instructor. He has skill with rescue and ropes, mass casualty. Most importantly, he is passionate about the fire service and building from the ground up. He is my friend, and I'm excited for tonight's conversation. It is absolutely my pleasure to have Ben Hoeppner on as the guest for episode number 137 of The Scrap.
Thank you, Corley. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to say, anything I missed in the intro, anything you would like to add?
No, sir. No, sir. You did a fantastic job.
Good deal. Audience, get your questions ready for Ben. Get your questions ready for anything you want us to discuss. If you find value in the scrap, head to firehousevigilance.com. Support the scrap any way, shape, or form. Mention, congrats, Ben, on getting to follow Ray McCormick, which is something everybody wants to do if they're going to be the guest. Right
tough.
here, I got.
That's
Hold on, I'm trying to hear you. Talk to me.
That's tough.
Okay, making sure I had you. Good evening, fellow scrappers. Let's do it. That comes from Joe Gavita. William John says, hello, Ben. Dustin Rourke said Corley with like 8 exclamation points. He's excited. We got to hang out today. Christopher Snow said, let's get it. Williams John said, amazing topics. Hello from Houston, coming from Rory. Evening, brothers and sisters. Dirk LeBear said, good job. Dustin Rourke, yes, hand claps. I love it. Let's go, Chief, from Miguel. Miguel Nunez. There's a lot of, hey there, Chief, from Brooke and Zach Demister. So you got support, brother, coming. You got hype coming at you, brother.
I do. I got a lot of support.
And someone said, I hate your face, B-ho. I don't know exactly what that means. That came from Corey Cole.
All right. That was my old partner. Yeah.
Fair enough. I figured it had to be because that's some firefighter love coming at you. What up from Indy, Don Sapp? Okay, I love it, man. A lot of hype. So here we go. I'm going to get right into it because I love to get into topics. Scrap. There we go. Building from the ground up. Building from the ground up. What does this mean to you? Go, Mr. Hoeppner.
Building from the ground up is basically just taking your firefighter that walks through the door that doesn't have any idea how to become a firefighter, right? And you have to build them. You have to breed them. And it's not like they woke up one day and was like, I'm going to be a firefighter. Well, maybe they did say, oh yeah, I'm going to go and apply, but they're not one, and you have to build them. And one of the things that my very first chief told me was that firefighters aren't born, they're built. Nice. And I have carried that with me the whole time. So I have taken a lot of pride in growing these firefighters and sharing what I know and giving them my knowledge to carry on to the next generation. If we go into, I remember walking through the fire, walking through the doors, and I submitted my application. I had an interview, and I had this ball of fire in my stomach.
Yes.
And I didn't know what it was. And I was like, this is excitement. This is scared. This is terrified, because I'm stepping into this alpha male world that I knew nothing about. I seen the fire trucks go up and down the road, and I'm like, that's cool.
Right.
But I didn't understand the depth that they went into. Then I started becoming a firefighter, being built myself, and I'm still being built. And I take all of that stuff and I remember that. And even as a deputy chief, I still want to instill power into these young firefighters. And we have to go section by section and go, they come onto the apparatus floor. Now it is time. We're going to go through the trucks. How do we do that? Well, we start from the bumper to bumper, top to bottom. And I mean, go into depth, because they are going to ask questions. And you need to have those questions answered for them. What does this tool do? what does jet siphoning do? When I say this is a low flow strainer, they're like, what's that? Okay, that's a fair question, right? Well, now it's my job to explain it. And I go through every single truck just like that. And I will explain what a set of irons is and why it's married. Why is that marrying strap on there? Well, it's because it's a wedding ring, right? They're married together.
Nice.
I go through each one of these and I'm talking about hose lines. I'm talking about diameters, lengths of these hose lines. And they're asking me, well, why do you need to know the length? Well, I'll tell you why. We're going to pull up to a house. I need to know how far that house is off the road, and will my line make that stretch? That's the reason that I have to know the distances, because you got the courtyard lays on the back, you got your 5-inch from your hydrants, however you need to know, and your 200s or whatever you have on your speed lays, and your bumper lines, they could vary from 100, 150 to 200. It's different on everybody's truck. So what I've tried to do is like really emphasize each single tool and tell them exactly what it does. And a lot of the officers that I work with are doing a fantastic job at it. They are helping me along the way, and they get it. They get it.
No, awesome, man. I got questions coming at you already from what you're talking about. And dude, I love the ground up concept, and most importantly, as we move into the Zoomer generation, the Gen Z, and the ones that have never, and this is not a knock on the Gen Z or anything like that, but they just don't, they haven't mowed yards and pull started 2-stroke engines or dealt with tools or changed tires,
Nope.
all that stuff that used to be a given when you came into the service, and so when you take the time to build it from the ground up, man, I love that concept. Okay, coming at you. Bonnie Sloss Bradley wants to know, how much training do you guys do weekly? Do you have training in all fire rescue aspects, or do you individually train for a specific position only?
So what we do at our department is we're on 4896.
Okay.
So the first day we try to do an EMS training because we are an ALS service. And then the second day we focus on fire. Now, we are a combination fire department, so we do have volunteers, which are critical to our survival. They come in on the second and the fourth Monday of every month.
Okay.
So we do trainings on second and fourth Mondays of every month, and then every shift does a training every single day. So they should, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but you get calls and things like that. But that's what we try to do.
Nice. All right. What's one thing, this comes from Christopher Snow and the Rogue Tailboard. What's one thing you see is hurting the growth of the young, inexperienced firefighters, and how do you combat that?
I'm not going to insult anybody, but I'm going to say ignorance. It's ignorance. And you walk in the fire department as a young firefighter and you think that you got it, you think that you own it, and you don't. You gotta what my old chief used to say, and one of my other chiefs, he said, you gotta earn your street degree. And I'm still learning my street degree. And these guys, these young firefighters, they don't know yet. They talk a lot of hype, but not one of them has seen a fire. So it's easy to put the shirt on. It's harder to wear the gear.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about that. And you can say that twice. And I think the Rogue Tailboard would 100% agree. Tony Griffin said, thanks for what you do, brother. I'm scrolling through comments here. There's a lot. Adam Gruzian said, Hop. Hoeppner is the man. Love you, brother. All right. Scrolling through. Don Sapp. GSD original. Nothing like getting a brand new recruit or person that has no bad habits and you can mold them in what you would like them to be.
Man, that's such a great, I love that comment. And I look forward to people being completely green because I was green. I remember I knew nothing, and sometimes I feel like I still don't know nothing. But I remember walking through those doors and being green and just soaking it all in. And then some of the firefighters took me aside and was like, hey, man, you need to focus on this. You need to focus on this. Well, yeah. And I absorbed all of it. I
Right.
was a sponge, man. I was a sponge. I wanted it all. I wanted all that knowledge. I wanted everybody to tell me every story that they've done. And, what did this tool do for you one time? Or what do you remember about that house over there? Or a build or whatever, just tell me stuff so that I can absorb it and understand it. And how did you go about running that call?
How important has it been for you to hang on to that feeling of coming in, like a level, almost remembering your level of ignorance when you came in? How important has that been in your growth as you started investing in the future?
It's super imperative to remember where you came from. It is absolutely imperative. And you've had guys on the scrap many a times that have said the same thing. Remember where the hell you come from, and remember the hard work. Even if you become a lieutenant, captain, deputy chief, whatever, remember where you came from. Remember all the hard work you did to get there, because you turned somebody's head because you were working hard.
No, I like it. And I wanted to say, like, a small story from back in when I remember I was still in my probationary year. It was very early on in my career. I went on a bad rollover accident with an ejection and, bad head trauma and everything like that. And my captain, or my company officer at the time, was screaming at me to get the O's. Get the O's, right? Get the O's. And I literally had no clue what he was talking about. Like, I was looking for hose. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, too?
Yeah, he wanted O2, and afterwards, he was angry with me because I was lost, and he's like, "Why didn't you get me the O's?" And I've always hung on to that because he was crystal clear in what he wanted in his mind, But me, a brand new guy, had never heard of anything called O's, and so it's always stuck with me, and it's always played forward. It's not ignorant. I mean, it's just they don't know what they don't know, and you don't know what they don't know.
Correct.
And that's the getting on their level to find out.
It's my friend down the road. We were talking about this the other night. He said, "Don't blame me, train me." Right.
Right on.
Well,
right on.
Right. I can't yell at a probie. I can't yell at a recruit or a young firefighter if they don't know. And most of the time, I don't yell at them. I'm like, I'm gonna show you. If I have to show you 3 times, well, then the 4th time, I'm probably gonna get upset.
Sure.
I'll give you 3. I won't give you 4.
3 is pretty generous. I'm not gonna lie. 3 is very generous. No.
I know some of them are watching tonight, so take notes, boys.
All right. I want to say I don't know. Sometimes, and here's the part about being the host of the scrap. Sometimes I don't know if it's an inside joke, if it's an insult, or if I'm being set up. So I'm asking this in good faith.
Yeah.
When Brandon Carey says, "Hey, Chief, what place does Monopoly have in the fire service?"
Oh boy, does it ever! Yeah, so we play a lot of Monopoly, man.
Okay.
It's kind of on our downtime.
Sure.
And Brandon works with us too.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and we play some Monopoly, and it's vital, Brandon, vital. It'll end relationships too.
So is it important to you, from your position, to spend that downtime together? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer question, I feel like, but how do you make that happen?
I think, well, when we do our trainings on our first day, we try and have lunch together because we have 2 stations. So we try and get the boys together for lunch. And then the second day we have a later training for fire around 4:00, and then we'll have dinner together afterwards. So we've kind of lost sight of that in the past couple months. Things have been happening, but that's where we'd like to be. And the dinner table is amazing. You can sit there and just, you can sit there and solve the world's problems, or you can just have a nice conversation and actually get to know people, about their families, their kids, their wives, whatever.
And so much more than just the station life. Like you said, families, lives, kids, dreams, aspirations, fears, what keeps them up at night. All that stuff plays into, and when you share that, that bond forms. You get me going down a rabbit hole. You get me talking. Don Sapp chiming in said, investment is a good word. You invest in what you believe in, and that investment time is not in vain. And that's what you're talking about with the dinner time and the Monopoly time.
Yeah. And sometimes like we just do things like play basketball together,
Sure.
or we play cornhole, or the Monopoly. It kind of gets the boys' minds off of they've been there for 2 days. 2 days and 48 hours in a building, if you don't run any calls, can get a little monotonous, and you can start to bark at each other a little bit and get snippy. Well, this is a way for us to move away from that snippiness, and actually get to be each other and be guys together, and build that bond.
Absolutely. And how much does trash talk play into all of those?
100%. 100%. 100%. I'll bury somebody. I don't care.
Has there ever been a Monopoly board flipped?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. The money has been crumpled up and thrown, and then I said, no more of that.
Right. We only have so much money. I get it.
That's so much, man.
Brooke and Zach Demeester says, I think when Chief Hoeppner interviews new recruits, I think he truly envisions himself in their shoes. I think he is able to bring himself down to a very personable level, and I think that's why recruits attach themselves to them. So that's someone else speaking that to you, but I mean, I love that, man. Is that kind of your mindset towards it, or?
Yes, sir. So Zach works on my shift. He's one of my. We're on the same team together, and he's lieutenant there. He does a great job, and he watches me interview them, and and I do make it personal, and I don't want to set somebody up for failure because it's not fair. I've seen this happen before. I've seen officers set people up for failure, and I had to sit back, and when I realized it was too late. I had already done the damage was done.
Right.
So I do make it personal, and I try to involve everybody, all the officers into putting somebody on the department.
Nice.
Together, collectively.
Very nice. No, that's an awesome approach. Okay. Curvin Martin says, love the enthusiasm of a probie, but how do you deal with cockiness and the know-it-all attitude? How do you knock the chip off the shoulder without breaking them?
Woo!
Yeah. Here comes some. Oh wait, got some curveballs coming.
Yeah, that's. I know Curvin. That's a good question. I don't know if I haven't figured out a way to do that yet, but I do know that having a talk with them, like one-on-one, and if I ever have a conversation with a firefighter, it's never alone. I don't do it by myself. I always have somebody there also listening, just in case I do slip up or I say something wrong. But, it's insurance, buddy. So it's just sitting them down and explaining to them what the perception is that these other people are seeing. It may be not something that I see or the chief sees. Right. It's the guys, and the guys are the foundation of that fire department. And if they're getting restless, we don't need that. We need to settle that and fix the problem immediately.
No, it's beautiful. Ben is not just a good friend and brother, but I have learned as much from him as I have from anyone else. He only wants people to grow. It's inspiring. Dude, you got a lot of fans, brother. I was not expecting so many fans. I was expecting more ball busting than I was fans. But 1,000, good on.
Just sit tight, man. We're only 20 minutes in.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I'm pulling up. If I can get my mug out of boy, I'm having trouble seeing my notes here. Okay. How can we improve our recruitment and the fire service image? Have we lost our way? I really wanted to run this by you. The last 20 years of treating the fire service more, I'd say 20, but basically my fire service career, the last 25 years, treating the fire service more like a business and less like a family. Have we lost our way? How do we get back to it? What's your thoughts on that?
I know what they're saying. It's a fine line. It's a fine line because you want that brotherhood, but it's also ran as a business. Because people have to perform, and if you don't perform, then you don't play, right?
Right.
Aaron Fields said it. He said, if you don't perform, you don't play. So he's right. If the guys aren't stretching hose right, if they're not doing their truck ops right, if they're not doing what they need to do, then they shouldn't be riding. They should be staying back or whatever. And that's just brutal honesty. But at the same time, you want that brotherhood and you want to keep them close because those are the people, you know, some of them may not be a master at engineering, but they're great elsewhere,
right,
and utilize them somewhere else, right? So it's a very delicate balance that you have to play. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I miss the mark, sometimes I go left or right, you know, and I mess it up. But and then I learn from it. You know, I try to learn from it.
In theory, we're all
In
learning.
theory, I try to learn from it.
Believe me, I understand that. I want to ask everybody, as you're watching, and I changed settings today. I went live today and checked on some stuff. I tried to improve the quality of the scrap, and Ben is the guinea pig as he comes on as a guest. So let me know if there is any hiccups or the sound is bad or anything like that. Just any issues, send them in the chat so I can adjust accordingly, because it's always a learning experience. I tell everybody I'm much better with a set of irons or an 1 3/4 than I am with technology. And so it's always trial and error. So I wanted to throw that out there and keep it in the forefront. Beautiful. Okay. Pulling up the notes, the famous notes, handlines and advancement and taking the nozzle away. What's your thoughts, my friend?
I love a hand line. I love moving hand lines. I love making my way through a house and fighting it back.
Nice.
I love that. And I don't know how to explain it. I mean, the people that are watching, obviously, they get it. They should get it. I actually, last year, I ran a hose line test, a flow test on our hand lines.
Okay.
And
let me ask, what were you running when you started the test? Like, what was your package?
You mean
generally
the hose?
Speaking. Just what kind of hose, low pressure, high pressure, what kind of nozzles, etc.
So we got Elkhart brass.
Okay.
Nozzles, but
Elkhart, Indiana. Fair enough.
You got it, pal.
Right on.
The hose lines, I don't know what the name of it because the previous chief had purchased those a few years ago. But then, you know, I fought some fire with it, and I'm sitting here getting my butt kicked, you know, and I don't consider myself a weakling, but I'm sitting here like battling this hose, and I'm like, this ain't right. Something's wrong. So what we did, and all the guys were part of it, we brought out some companies to give us some hose or let us test out some hose. And we ran flow tests against our own hose. Well, we found that our trucks were pumping at 170 PSI just to get 50 out of the tip on a 15/16.
Wow.
So it was beating the truck up. We were losing 20 to 25 PSI per section.
Wow.
It was horrible. And I was like, this is why we're getting beat up. So then we put on the new hose and ta-da, it's pumping at like 110.
Like magic, yeah.
And I was like, and they're handling it perfectly. And I'm just, this is great. This is great stuff. But they had to see the science. I couldn't just go in there and just start changing things.
Right.
So I had to show them the science, be like, hey, look at this, look at the numbers. And then they're like, oh, that makes sense, right?
No, and everybody, I didn't give it out before because I wasn't sure, but Kyle Romagus is in here pulling your questions out. He is the unofficial / official, really, producer of the scrap, and he's pulling questions out and making sure that I see them and don't miss them. But he said his money is on delamination of your previous hose, as far as why it was so brutal.
Oh yeah, I think it was only 3 or 4 years old, and it was not good.
Not good, yeah. Sounds like it. 175, and he is a hose guru. He I will say he's a subject matter expert, is what I would say on it. Lonnie Camp, yeah, importance. Lonnie Camp, and this, sometimes I throw you a soft toss, but importance of fitness in the fire service, which is a nice segue to what I want to ask you about next. But go ahead.
It is. Lonnie is right. Fitness is very important. It's very important, and we should keep our bodies in tune and keep them in shape. And Lonnie works for us as well.
Okay.
And he's a very good medic, very good firefighter. And he is right. Like sometimes we slack off on that, and we shouldn't, but we do.
No, it's the easiest one to slack off on, honestly. I mean,
it truly is. And, you know, we got a lot of things going on, but we should focus on getting on the trim, getting that endurance built up. You know, it's not about I'll take a guy that can run, with endurance in a fire go for 30, 40 minutes versus a guy that can lift 400 pounds. I'll take that guy any day of the week.
Not that you can't use the guy with 400
No,
pounds.
no,
But
no.
100%. I get it. I get what you're saying. He's not useless. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not useless. I've seen guys that have been very bulky, very muscly.
Oh, he uses a lot of air. They use a lot of air, man. They use a lot of air. They won't
last as long as the guy that can run for 30 minutes or run for an hour.
No, I'm with you on that.
Not knocking them. Don't send haters this way.
No haters. What I want to know is Firefighter Combat Challenge.
Yeah.
Like I seen some video of, I heard people yelling, "Go Ben, come on Hoeppner, let's do this," while somebody ran through a combat challenge recently.
It was 2018. That was 2018.
Okay. I just saw the video, so I wanted to ask you about it. Like, what got into you? I don't see many deputy chiefs. I don't know if you were a company officer at the time or what, but
yeah, I was a lieutenant at the time when that happened. And we were scheduled for a relay. So for 2 months, religiously, I carried a high-rise pack up and down a flight of steps, just up and down. That was my leg of the run. That's all I had to do.
Right.
And the other guys did their parts. So the day came, or the night before, day or not, I can't remember which one. And it was like, hey, you got to run the whole thing. Excuse me?
Pardon me?
I got to run the whole thing now? Oh, boy. So Corey Cole and myself were the oldest guys. We're probably, I was 35. He was 36, something like that. And then we had 3 younger guys, Thomas Dean, Brandon Carey, and Zach DeMeester. And Corey goes first. He passes it. He beats it. He gets it done in like 3 minutes, 19, 12. So I don't remember, 3 minutes, something like that. And then the other 3 younger guys go, and they did a great job. And then the guys stopped them. They all stopped. Hey, you're done, right? Well, I'm going last. And I'm like, they stopped them. What are they going to do to me?
Right.
I'm like, I smoke. I'm like, nah. So I take off, and I did it, and I finished with a 3 minute and 31 seconds, and I collapsed at the end.
Ready to die? Ready to die?
I thought I died. Yeah.
Right.
My body was just left. It was gone. But I would do it again. I would do it again in a heartbeat. After doing it the first time, I'd do it again.
That's awesome, man. No, and it's just awesome. It's just a good example, man. I love the story, man. All right.
I was terrified.
I don't know. Again, forgive me if it's all inside jokes, but I really want to hear the story sometimes. Eric Schumann wants to know, what are your thoughts on police officers fighting fires with you? Sometimes they are first on scene before fire.
Detective Schumann, you can stand down, sir.
Okay.
I love you. Stand down, honey. He's a good friend of mine. They a lot of the officers around here do help us out a lot. They truly do. Sometimes they're helping pull hose with us. I've seen that happen. So they're helpful. Very helpful.
Fair enough. You're not downplaying. You're not busting their chops. They're just busting yours right now.
No, sir.
A lot of people have mentioned basketball, and they said you mentioned basketball earlier as far as downtime, and a ton of people have said, Corley, ask Ben about basketball. So is there a basketball story of some sort? Or are you just a basketball god?
Well, I'm almost 40 years old, and I blew my back out a few weeks ago.
Fair enough.
I stretched it like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a good basketball player. I just hurt myself. I'm just not good.
Fair enough. Okay. Pulling up the notes. Fire culture and the progression of the fire service. Hit me.
Fire culture and the progression of fire. What was it? Fire service. Yeah. What we have is a transition. We are in the, as my friend Cooper likes to say, the Y era. We are in the Y era, and we are in a huge transition as to, and I don't mean to offend or downplay anyone, but I grew up in a hard-nosed kind of fire service where I had to prove myself. And I feel that sometimes it has gone to the wayside, as some people think it's okay and some people don't. You know, the old salty dogs, they don't like it. They want them to earn theirs, and they should. I agree, but there's also a very fine line to where I can't push them so hard to where I'm almost pushing them out the door.
Right.
You know?
No, yeah, it's a razor's edge.
It's very thin, and you got to be very careful because you want that fire service to grow. If you don't have a great foundation and you don't have great recruits and probies and rookies, then the whole building will collapse. And they are the future. So take the time, get off your butt, get over to the trucks and train them. That's what you have to do. Do not sit back and be lackadaisical. Don't be complacent. Just move forward and do your job. And your job is to fight fire and to train and EMS and car crashes and hazmat, all that. And then you have your life inside that firehouse. That's where they're going to learn a lot of stuff too. And they need to pay attention. And you have to maybe be that jerk and be like, hey, get up. Let's go train.
Right on.
Let's go over this truck. Let's learn how to pump. Let's learn how to draft. Let's learn how to drive. Let's do this stuff instead of sitting there on your phone, which annoys me to death. But move on and get better. You want to get better. You want recognition. This is how you do it. You get off your butt.
Hell yeah. Get off your butt. Dustin Rourke wanted to know how many members are on your department. You said 2 stations earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's your daily staffing?
We have 5. So we have 16 paid total.
Right.
We have 2 stations, 14 volunteers, and 23 part timers.
Okay.
So we have A, B, and C shift. You know, so we have 3. We have 3 full timers at Station 1, and we have 2 full timers at Station 2, and then we have a part timer at Station 2 and Station 1.
Gotcha.
So we have
pretty much
we have 7.
Probably the average American fire service if you really just sliced it right down the middle.
Yeah, we are urban, rural, just that collaboration of fire department.
No, it sounds like it. Count on auto aid, count on mutual aid for anything that's important. Yeah, no, 100%, man.
Yep.
Austin Center says, please explain the importance of trying to take someone that is fresh in the door, that has no plan or nothing really going for them, and molding them into someone that not only has to change himself, but learn to manage others' emergencies as well. Which we've kind of been talking about this, but it's a great question.
One more time, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Please explain the importance of taking someone that is fresh in the door, no plan, or nothing really going for them, and molding them into someone that can not only take charge of themselves, so they're trying to learn how to take care of themselves, but also learning how to take care of other people's emergencies when they don't, they haven't even learned how to take care of themselves yet.
So I think you just nailed it, is that the first obstacle is to take care of yourself.
That's beautiful.
Because you're not going to help anybody else if you haven't helped yourself first. That's so what he's trying to, I think what he's trying to say is, sometimes people get into a bad spot in life, then they join the fire service thinking that it's going to cure all, and it doesn't.
Right.
Because you haven't cured and you haven't fixed what was in that previous life, like the things that you were going, maybe family life or whatever, financial stuff, whatever you were going through, you haven't fixed that yet. And that's still going to be daunting and still hanging over your head. And then you're going to embark on another journey, which is fantastic and great all in itself, but you never focused on yourself. So you should focus on yourself versus trying to help others. Try and get those in line first.
No, that's beautiful. I mean, and it's that circle of influence versus circle of concern, and where you should focus your energy and be effective, man. It's beautiful. Yeah. Philip Grant said, get your own house in order first. Nailed it, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my own things in the way. BJ Breacher asked, how would you handle officers modeling or teaching bad habits? Example, not packing up on alarms.
Hate it. Can't stand it. So you have to, any alarm, it 45 car crash. If it's a 45, an alarm. You put your gear on, you put your pack on like you were going to battle. It does not matter.
What's the term 45 mean?
Sorry.
No.
It's a fire alarm.
Okay. No, I'm just checking. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have 45 alarms out here. So when the guys jump off the rig, they should be packed up, ready to go, battle ready. I will not accept anything less than that. I will not. It's horrible. If your coat is unbuttoned, we are having a conversation. We're going to have a talk, and that's unacceptable because that's somebody's business. That's somebody's home. And if you're not ready to go, then you don't deserve to be on that rig.
Beautiful. No, how do you argue with that? And BJ's asking for how do you handle it, but I mean that basically you just said it. You just address it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all men. We're all men in the fire service. You talk to them. I mean, you don't have to yell at them or scream at them, but you let them know, hey, that's unacceptable. You got to do better.
No, Cole Temple asks, Ben, can you explain the look through the straw philosophy?
So what I've tried to talk about or teach to the young guys is you have to look through the straw, right? When you look through the straw, what is on the other end of it? Well, it should be a goal, or it should be something that you are pinning your hopes and dreams on. Ignore all the outside noise. Ignore all of the distractions. All you're looking at is that pinpoint tip at the end of that straw. Anything less, like if you acknowledge anything on the outside of that straw, it's going to be regression. And regression in the fire service is absolutely detrimental. And he actually, I told him to do that one night. He was panicking about going to a new department, and then he called me and I said, "Hey man, you got a straw? Oh, where are you at?" He's like, "I'm in the drive-through at a restaurant." I was like, "You got a straw?" "Yeah." He's like, "Look through it." And his girlfriend actually took a picture of him looking through that straw.
Looking through the straw.
Yeah, I was like,
nice.
"What did you see?" He goes, "The end." I was like, "Well, you seen what was in front of you, not on the outside."
No, I love it. I love it. That's a great one, man. Eric Schumer wants to know, what are your thoughts? This is the law enforcement officer, correct? I believe. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on mental health with your firefighters? As a law enforcement officer, there we go. We both see the worst in people's lives. Do you debrief after tough calls? Do you offer counseling for your guys? What's your process, personally and organizationally?
Personally, after any kind of difficult call, I sit down and we try and talk. We try and talk about it, and I check with the guys to make sure that they're okay and let them know that avenue of conversation is open. It has to be open, and let them know, hey, you may not want to talk about it right now, but you may want to talk about it in a week or 2 weeks or whatever it takes. But just know that I'm here to listen to you, and it's not beneath you to ask for help, because we have all been on some calls that have shook us to the core, and they've hurt us. And some of us talk about them, some of us don't. But to get it out, I talk about it with my wife when I get home. I do speak with the crew. If it's bad, I will speak with the crew. But my first and foremost goal is to check on the guys to make sure that they're okay.
Right.
And I'll worry about myself later. And I'm not downplaying myself. I'm just saying those guys, they need to be checked on first. That's my job. Secondly comes me. Like
most of us, it's not the healthiest approach. It's just really effective.
It seems to, it seems to work. Yeah.
No, 100%.
I don't know if it works, but
I gotta ask. Like, Corey, they keep busting. Did someone steal a nozzle at some point on a fire? Was there an issue with a stolen nozzle? Does anyone take your?
Man, yeah, that's Corey Cole.
Okay.
Man, every time we had a fire, it was we were trying to take turns or whatever, and we had one house to where we pulled up. It was like 30-foot flame shooting out of the roof, and I got out of the rig, I looked up, I looked at it, and he snatched the nozzle right out of my hand, and I was like, "Oh no, son!" No, he went in, he fought it. I was right behind him. We did a good job, knocked it down. Nice. In 5 minutes, it was done. but yeah, then from that day forth, it was we switch. You don't take the nozzle from me.
No taking the nozzle. Okay, fair enough. I wanted to check on it. Yeah, Kyle said Kyle's chiming in and said what he learned from Todd Edwards was to role play with the guys about dealing with tough incidents. Because then it's not, you're like, hey, we're just your role playing is, as you talk about it, you could put them in a scenario actually where they're talking to, hey, this guy's having a tough time with the call. Talk to him about it. This is just training for you. It's not even real. And what they discovered was that the role play turned into real discussion about the call, very easily, because it got past that outer layer of I can't talk about this, and it got to a point of, hey, this ain't real. We're just pretending, until they weren't pretending. Very strong way to get stuff out that's bothering people subconsciously or unconsciously. So Blake Miller says, Chief Hoeppner. Sorry, brother. The O throws me every time. How do you balance work, fire department, and family life so that you maximize the most out of learning while you're still fresh into the fire service, but you're not letting the others down while doing the other?
It is very difficult sometimes. But what I have is I have an amazing wife that understands. And I have two awesome kids that they understand what dad does. If I did not have that support at home, I would not be able to do what I do on a daily basis. My wife is my cornerstone. She is my rock. She helps me through anything. She is my vent. She is my whipping post, if you will, and she takes it like a champ. Like, wow, if that was me, I would have like bounced, like, see ya.
I call her Saint Brittany. Saint Brittany is what I refer to her as, just because I know you, not really her.
Yeah, no, she's amazing, and that's what gives me that freedom and that opportunity to go to classes like COBC next month. To go over to Fort Wayne, to Auburn, to Nozzle 4 with Aaron Fields. That's what gives me this opportunity to do these things, is her and her taking care of this house, which puts my heart at ease because I know that my kids are taken care of.
No, it's beautiful.
Yep.
No, and that's the truth of it, man. If you don't, I don't know what I would do without Amanda. I don't know what anybody does, like,
Yep.
Kurt and Jessica and Dave, and it's all across the board, man. What do they say? Behind any great man is a great woman, and
it's a true statement, man.
Just behind any great firefighter is a great spouse, just to remove the, 1,000%, man. Great. Dustin Rourke asks, what is a good way to combat complacency in an aged department? So, curveball's coming. Whew.
Yeah. So, I mean,
take a swing.
Are we talking about a department that's got like, older men like in their 60s, or are we talking about, I don't know, it's kind of a hard, difficult question.
No, I get you. What does he mean by aged? I'm imagining it's just a lot of experience that's been to the fair, seen the bear, and there's not a lot surprises them, and well, why do that? We'll just deal with it when it comes up, type deal.
Maybe try and do scenarios and scenario-based exercises or trainings, and try and find their niche and what they're good at, and then put them in their place. Because if they're 55 years old, are they going to be stretching hose? Probably not. Maybe. There are some 55-year-old men that I've seen stretch some hose.
Right.
They are few and far between.
And what if he just means just kind of set in their ways and don't care about the progression of, like, UL NIST studies, 1700, things like that?
Okay.
What if it's just set in their ways?
If they're set in their ways, then you're not going to, I haven't had any good experience with that. I've worked for places like that, and they get set in their ways and they don't want to move. And it's okay. Like, in their brain, it's okay.
Right.
But as a progressive firefighter, in my brain, I'm like, that's not okay. You're not going to classes. You're not trying to train yourself. You're not getting better. And you're not trying to teach anybody anything. So what are you doing? You're taking up a seat on the rig. You have knowledge. Please share it. You have experience. Please tell me about it.
Right.
The younger guys want to learn that stuff. Complacency is going to kill your fire department. And if you have to be the only one out there doing exercises or stretching hose, then you got to do what you got to do by yourself.
No, and Ben hits the nail on the head. When it comes down to it, if complacency, I don't care, young, old, what the age is at all, but if complacency has taken hold and is creeping through the culture of your department, the only thing you have power over is yourself to say, it's not happening right here with me, and I'm going to be out there every day stretching hose, doing what I have to do. Now, and again, man, if I was lucky enough to work at Jobtown where I'm making 2-3 fires, every shift or every tour or whatever, then maybe I don't need to stretch hose every day because I'm doing it on actual fires. But I have this thing called I Am the American Fire Service. For the majority of the American Fire Service, we don't get that option to stretch on real jobs. So we have to say, I am going to be proactive, and I am going to stay engaged, and I am going to know what is up, and I'm going to take care of what I do. So, dude, you knocked it out of the park with focus on yourself.
Well, you talk about the basics, think about the basics, and you can do the fancy stuff. You can do all the technical rescue. You can do the ropes and stuff like that. That's awesome stuff. When you have to go back to the basics and you didn't practice that for months, then you look like, a monkey doing a football. You're right. Just like, you fumbled the football, man. It's terrible. So you miss the point. And the point is pull hose, work on ventilation, search and rescue, cars, you got to do the basics, putting your air pack on, putting your gear on. That's basic stuff that these people need to go back to, and I stress it with our crews. Hey, we got to get back to the basics. We got to stretch the hose. We got to put our gear on. We got to put mask up drills. We got to do that stuff. Yes, it's silly. All right, whatever. No, this is what we practice for.
Right on. No, 100%. Hey, you will never catch me saying fundamentals, basics, the core skills. They are never silly, man. They are what makes us elite when you master them. So, Saint Brittany. That's what I'm going to ever call her, St. Brittany, even when I see her, if she's coming. How does the fire service now deal with more women? Let me pull it up. On the service in a more dominated men's profession. Because it has been male dominant. I want to say 8% was the last statistic I saw. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I think I read a recent article where 8% of the American fire service is female. So it is, I think that's fair to say, truthfully, that it's male dominated.
It is male dominated. But I think in my world, don't ever count a woman out, because women can do it too. Women can do the job. I've seen them do it. And you have to give credit where credit is due. They have to put in the work, and you don't treat them any differently. You hold them to the same bar. If I have to drag a 250-pound man, you're doing it too. If I got to climb that ladder and cut that roof, you're doing it too. If I got to hold the spreaders and the cutters and the rams, you're doing it too. So you're trying to level that playing field and going, I'm not giving you special treatment because you're a female. You're going to have to step up to that bar and go, this is where we're at, and we're not coming down from this.
Absolutely.
We're not going backwards.
Especially if it is the bar that everyone is held to. That's another part that's very key. Absolutely.
Yes, there is a bar, and we should all meet it.
And I've never met a female fire. And it's not like I've just run around in circles of female fire, but I've never met one that wanted preferential treatment ever.
I haven't yet either.
Right.
I haven't yet either.
They're like, just tell me the bar and I'll meet it. Just tell me what it is, and make sure it's the same one everyone else is meeting it, and I'll meet it.
Yeah, the girls that we put on our fire department, they have done a great job, and I'm proud of them. And they're like, Ben, can you go over this truck with me? Can you teach me that? Oh yeah, absolutely. I sure will.
Okay. I got multiple questions coming at you. Austin Centers, as a young firefighter, he says, that has just enough knowledge to teach another the basics. How do you do it without overstepping your role?
Don't teach too much that you don't know. Teach what you know. Don't pretend to teach something that you don't know. If you're not proficient at it, don't teach it.
Nice.
If you are proficient at it, then please do.
Don't BS, man. There's one thing firefighters know, man. If you're
it.
BSing at all, if you're trying to stretch the credibility, stretch the expertise, they sniff it out instantly.
They absolutely do. And these firefighters will tell you when you become a firefighter.
No doubt about it.
They'll sniff you right out.
All right, I got another one. Jimmy, and I hope you're enjoying all the questions coming at you. Bomarito.
They're great.
I hope I pronounced it right, Bomarito. Bomarito. Chief, would you recommend for a newer fireman to switch from a smaller county to a big city fire department if given the opportunity? Man, that's a...
You can do whatever you want. Yeah. I will never tell anybody to not stay somewhere or not go somewhere. If a young firefighter says, "Hey, Chief, I want to go to Elkhart, or I want to go to South Bend, Mishawaka, or whatever," if you want to go there, then go there. I will support you in any which way you want to go. Okay, I won't hold you back and say, "No, that's junk, that's garbage." No, if you want to go, you go, and I will support you. If you want to stay, then stay. That's all I want. I want the same honesty from you as I'm going to give to you. I want it back. I want it in return.
Can't ask for more than that, man. You cannot ask for more than that. Great questions, man. So we're fast approaching an hour, so I'm gonna kick it to Booker Books. Are you ready for Booker Books?
Yeah.
Book or books to suggest that firefighters should read?
Pride and Ownership.
Lasky.
Yeah, Lasky. It's easy, and that's what attracted me to that book. Is I have a lot of pride. I have a lot of pride in my fire department. I have a lot of pride in the fire service. This fire service I owe everything to. Everything. My whole life changed the moment that I walked through those doors. So the fire service owes me nothing, and I keep paying it back and paying it back and paying it back. And I love this. I love this career, and I hope that everybody else does too.
Dude, it's strong, man. I cannot. I can't knock that at all because it's one of those books that I read. I don't even know who gave it to me, but it was kind of before I really got plugged into the fire service. And it's one of those books that kind of changed my approach to my love of the job. So cannot disagree with you whatsoever on it. It's a great book. If you haven't read it and you're in the fire service, you should absolutely read it. Mm-hmm. So, Ben, we have a thing we do on the Weekly Scrap. It is called the 5 Questions for Firefighters. Recently, we changed it to the next 5 Questions for Firefighters. It is 100%. The answers are your opinion. There is no right or wrong answers. And then the points are subjective and completely passed out by me. So, Ben Hoeppner.
You got it.
Are you ready for the next 5 questions for firefighters?
Hit me.
All right. Number 1. What single characteristic makes the difference between a run-of-the-mill firefighter and the top-tier, go-to, badass firefighter?
Work ethic.
Work ethic.
Work ethic. If you don't put in the work, and this is what I have found in my career, the guys that work the hardest are the most ridiculed. They're the ones that everybody points at and goes, "Well, what's he doing? What's he doing?" Well, if he's running the treadmill or he's lifting or he's pulling hose or he's going through the rigs, that's the guy I want on my rig. That's the guy. I don't want the guy that's sitting on his butt at the table looking at his phone. I don't need that. What I need is a hard worker, and I need someone that loves the fire service just as much as I love it. These guys got to get on board. Work ethic.
Work ethic. I like the answer, man. I love the answer. Number 2, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice as a rookie, what would it be? It
would be shut up and work harder.
Ooh, I like it.
I talk too much. I think I talk too much, and I should have kept my mouth shut quite a bit. But I was a boisterous young firefighter, and I'm still kind of that way, but I was way more boisterous than I am now. I think I should have kept my mouth shut.
We could all learn from that one, man. Yeah, no doubt about it. I will give you max points on shut up and work harder. Well, it ties right into your first one, which is work ethic. So the consistency is there. But I love the shut up. I tell you.
That was me, man. I just be quiet, Ben. All right.
I love it. What is your favorite training drill?
Pulling hose all day, stretching hose, working on the flake, like flaking them out and making sure that it's prepped and ready to go for that interior attack every day of the week. I love stretching hose.
Love it. Love it. Max points for stretching hose anytime anyone's. If you want an easy answer to get max points on your favorite training drill, tell me you're stretching hose. Even better, if you want really max points, tell me you log how many feet you stretch type deal.
Actually, we do.
Oh, really?
I swear to God, we do.
That's awesome, dude. No, I love.
I think the last time we did, I think we logged 2,200 feet for a training. So that was, I think it was, that was cool.
No, absolutely.
It's funny you say that. I'm like, oh.
No, especially and you can start keeping track of feet, and then you go. Then you switch it to miles on the year, and you're like, hey, we stretched 22 miles of hose this, whatever. Yeah. And it's beautiful, man. Number 4, what mistake have you learned the most from in your fire service career?
I tried to please everybody, and that's where I messed up. I tried to make everybody comfortable, and I messed up. I shouldn't have. You can't please everybody, and my personality is I like everybody,
right?
Until you give me a reason not to. But I trust everybody. I like everybody, but I try to please everybody, and I can't do that. Sometimes I just gotta bite the bullet and be like, well, you're just not gonna like what I'm gonna do, unfortunately.
No, and it's hard to be when you want to please everybody and you want to be liked by everybody. It's hard to be the asshole sometimes. I mean, it just is.
Sometimes it is.
When it's needed. Yeah. No, dude.
Tough.
I think everybody can associate that with some level if they're not an asshole by nature. If that makes sense, what I'm saying. Everybody feels that.
I get it.
The only people who don't feel that are, maybe need to look in the mirror about their assholes. Number 5, my favorite question. Heavy fire, searchable space. Would you rather be assigned to the nozzle or first in on VES?
VES, I am searching. That is my job. Life preservation. We're going to go first. We actually had a fire, I think it was last year, and Chief got on scene, did a 360. We pulled up in the rig. I jumped off the rig, and it was a report of somebody trapped inside. And he was standing there, and I went full tilt like a Peterbilt right towards that door. And he said later that night, he texted me, he goes, "You scared the hell out of me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You were going, weren't you?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I was going. That's my job, Chief. That's what I'm going to do."
I love it.
And that's what you should do. We put our lives as collateral every time we jump on that rig. And we wear that Maltese cross on our chest for a reason. It's not because it's cool. It's because it represents something. And I am willing to lay my life down for the millionaire or the crackhead, I'm willing to do that. And every one of us should be too.
Hold on, I got to timestamp that on my notes here because I got my soundbite. And say max points for number 5. Dude, that's a very, very, very strong finish, without a doubt. There it is, the 5 questions for firefighters, according to Ben Hoeppner. So, congratulations, my friend. That makes it officially 137 scraps in the books, my friend.
Awesome. This is great, man.
Ben Hoeppner, the Beho. If someone wants to get a hold of you, if they want to ask you more questions, if they want more info, just reach out and get in touch with you. How do they do it?
B. Hoeppner at concordtownshipfire.com. You can hit me on an email and I'll respond to it,
And when he says Hoeppner, don't let him confuse you. It is spelled Hoeppner.
Yes.
So not as it's spelled, as it's pronounced. Hoeppner.
Yep.
Hoeppner. So I love doing it. Okay. Firehousevigilance.com. Go there. Everything is back in stock. All shirts and merch except for the ultra rare Loden Mutts Don't Scrap hat, which supposedly is coming in May. We'll see if it actually happens. They just blame COVID over and over. Next up on the agenda for me, FDIC next week. I'm super excited. First time I've ever been there. First time I've ever taught there. Come check out my class. It's called Down and Dirty Fireground Decision Making. Thursday at 3:30 p.m. I'm up against some awesome instructors. My nightmare is no one comes to my class, so I'm hyping it on my scrap here. So if you're in the area, come sit in my class. I don't want it to be empty.
Congratulations,
love to get,
Morley.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm proud. I'm humbled.
Awesome.
I'm all of it. I'm nervous as hell.
Yeah.
All of it at once. I want to get pictures with anybody who does come. I want Mutts Don't Scrap. June 10th and 11th. I want to mention this. Gone to Texas. There are 68 tickets left for Gone to Texas on June 10th and 11th. That's the one me, Jeremy Donch from National Fire Radio are going to be doing the MC for. And I wanted to shout it out that there are only 68 tickets left. So if you want to go, it is almost sold out. So get your tickets. I wanted to mention that tonight. And then next Monday, almost a week from today, 6 days from today, one of my favorite people on the planet, Nick Ledeen, is coming on to talk Firefighter Rescue Survey. And we're going to do nothing but deep dive into the data, all about, there's a big push for everybody to put this in the classes they're teaching and everything. Get the word out on Firefighter Rescue Survey. We are tracking our wins, not just our losses anymore, and we're going to get it under 2,000. So absolutely, let's keep it going. And Nick's going to be on next Monday to talk about all that. It's going to be amazing. So all that being said, if you see me anywhere, get a picture. Mutts Don't Scrap. Ask me. I'm terrible about asking, but I try to get it done. If you think the scrap brings value to your life, go support it at firehousevigilance.com. My brother, Ben Hoeppner, thank you for being such a phenomenal guest.
Thank you so much, Corley. I appreciate it so much. I truly do. Thank you.
Absolutely killed it, dude. Remember, Mutts Don't Scrap. I hope the tones stay silent. Unless it is burning, stay safe out there.